I don't know about you guys, but in my house, we love hot pretzels. So let's make some today. Here is the water. It is 1.5 cups. And vegetable oil, that was 3 tablespoons. Next should be the brown sugar, and that's 2 tablespoons. And 1 package of yeast. After I put all this stuff in, I mixed it up with a spoon, and the recipe says to leave it for 3 minutes. I probably left it for like 20. I don't think you have to leave it that long, but I was actually out picking string beans, so I just left it sit for a little bit, and then I came back to it, but I'm sure 3 or 5 minutes would be fine. Here's what it looked like when I came back, and the recipe also called for 4 teaspoons of salt, but I thought that was too much, so I only put 2 teaspoons of salt, and I put 3 3/4 cup of regular all-purpose flour, and I mixed it up in the KitchenAid mixer with the dough hook until it stuck to the bottom but not to the walls. And here I am putting the dough in a bowl that's greased with vegetable oil. I just flipped it over to get the whole thing coated. And you can either just cover this with a hand towel and set it like in a warm place. Or if your oven has a bread-proof button like mine does, you could put the bread-proof button on and put it in the oven. And it was rising for about an hour. So I went and did something else for a little bit, and then I came back to it, and I took 2 cookie sheets and I put flour on them because we're going to use these sheets to hold the pretzels after we make them. So here you can see it got a little bit bigger while it was rising for that hour. And this recipe said that it makes 12 pretzels. So what I did was I divided the dough ball in half, and I set half aside. And then the half that I had, I separated it into 6 pieces that I tried to get them about the same size. This doesn't have to be perfect. You know, they pretty much taste the same no matter how pretty or ugly you make them. So I just rolled them out, just like, I guess, when you were playing with Play-Doh when you were a kid, or clay. I rolled it out like into a snake. And then I just twisted it into the shape of a pretzel. And then one by one, I put them on those trays that we had floured a minute ago. And after you make them into pretzels and get them all ready and on the trays, either just set them aside somewhere. Again, I put mine in the oven with the bread-proof button on. The recipe said to let them rise for 20 minutes, but they were fine. I left mine probably 45 minutes or maybe even an hour because I had to go get my son from the bus stop. So it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be right to the minute. So just let them rise for a little bit after you form them into pretzels. And I used a couple dabs of water just to hold the ends down onto the pretzels so that they wouldn't start unwinding. Here they are in the pans. Okay, so back into the oven to bread-proof. And while that's going, you can take 4 cups of water and 1/4 cup of baking soda. Put that in the water, and then you're going to bring this to a boil. After it's boiling, you can take the pretzels one by one. So they're going to go from the water over to those racks that were on the cutting board just to drain the water off of them. It was really tricky getting them off the racks after they were boiling in here. The recipe said 30 seconds. Some of them I did 30, but I thought that they were getting like too waterlogged. So I would say you could probably boil them less than 30 seconds. Then on the wire racks, then while they're resting on the wire racks, you have to get the flour off those 2 pans, grease it, and then put them on there, bake them in the oven. and baste them with melted butter. And before I bake them, I did put this special pretzel salt on them that I actually found on Amazon. It's made for hot pretzels, and these things were absolutely delicious. They are all gone already. Happy cooking!